Good morning, it's Peter from the Salvation Army. Hope you're doing well during this lockdown. Look, I know for many of us there's a lot of struggles, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of emotions that are going through our minds, through our bodies, and we need to be able to talk about that today. So I've got 3 things to help us today on how we can manage ourselves and regulate our emotions during this lockdown period. But obviously it's not just a lockdown period, this can be used anytime. 3 things. First thing, we need to be conscious of what's actually happening with our body, or as some people would say, physiology. We need to be aware of what's actually happening. Are we having heavy breathing? We need to become aware of, are we tense? Are we stressed? So to do that, we take time to sit down, relax, breathe. And you can look online. There's so many different exercises, mindfulness exercises to calm yourself, to relax and breathe. I suggest you find one that connects with you. It could be art, it could be there's a square breathing exercise that little kids use where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, breathe in for 4. It's a little cycle. There's so many exercises. You can YouTube those or Google them. There's so many opportunities for self-care and meditation. So that's one. Be aware of what's going on with our bodies, because if we're not aware about what's going on with our bodies, what comes out of our mouths, how we act, how we talk, is coming out of that state of chaos. So we need to be aware of that. Second, we need to be mindful of the language we use to explain the situation we're in, because the language we use becomes a reality. So for example, I was at the traffic lights today and a person yelled and screamed at me because I was slow leaving the lights. Okay, I could say that person's a psycho. That's the language I could use, or I could choose to go, okay, I was at the lights today and I was curious about why this guy was so angry and why he was in such a rush to get past me this morning. I hope he's okay. Even in that moment I could go, Lord, I just pray for him today that you will help him to find what he needs to be able to get through today. It's completely different. That's a prayer you can choose to pray, but what I'm saying is be mindful of the language we use, because it becomes a reality. So if I say to myself, that guy is an idiot, the next time I see that guy, I'm going to see him as an idiot. So in my mind. So I need to take captive of those thoughts and go, he's a human being. He's having a bad day. I need to try and empathize with him. So that's the second, taking the thoughts captive. The third one is putting our focus onto something positive. For example, for me, in my faith, I like to think of being out in nature. I like to look at nature. I like to see creation, and I like to think of the fact that I'm loved by a creator of the world. For people who don't believe in that, you'll find other ways to do it. You'll find oodles of ways to put something into something positive. It could be a project that you like to work on. It could be being around people that are really kind, and you want to have more of those voices in your like speaking into your life. I want all that too, but I find a lot of comfort in knowing that the creator of the universe loves me. I know that I find a lot of comfort in knowing that my life is in his hands. I don't need to worry about today because it's in his hands. Now, some people will say, well, good on you, Pete, but that's a crutch. You don't need that. And I'll say, well, for me, it's not a crutch. It's actually a reality that I find strength and empowerment from. And often people say, Peter, you're so positive, it ticks me off. And I'll be like, well, I'm sorry about that. But the reason I'm positive is because I have chosen, since a very young age, since when I was 18 actually, I've chosen to put 3 things into practice. Those 3 things are one of them. But it started when someone gave me a book on the power of positive thinking, but it was a Christian book. It was a guy who was on a faith journey, and he was talking about how what we put into our mind becomes our reality. And so there was in this book, there was 3 lines. It said, I believe that I'm divinely guided. I believe that God will make my path straight. And I believe that God will make a way where there isn't a way. So those 3 truths, if you like, I was encouraged to memorize. I was encouraged to focus on. I mean, some people could say, oh, that's brainwashing. But I think the power of positive thinking is actually choosing to condition your brain to think differently. We can always choose the negative option. We can always choose to put ourselves down. We can always choose to step back in fear. But what I'm suggesting is that God made us as beings, spiritual beings, and what we put into our lives comes out. So if I fill my mind with junk, junk's going to come out. So for me, God says in the Bible, focus on things from above. Every good and perfect gift comes from above, from God our Father who loves us. Now, people have believed that since the beginning of time. And from no matter what faith you're in, people have believed something of that. And that they are loved and that God is guiding. Whatever it is, for me, it comes out of the loving family of the Trinity. But I'm not here to convert you to a religion. I'm here to encourage you how to get through life. This is because I don't actually think when Jesus came, he came to make another religion. He came to guide us through life. So today, think about that. There's 3 things. The first 3 things were be mindful of what's happening with our bodies. Second, be mindful of the language we use. 3, be mindful of what we put our focus on. Okay, put your focus onto positive things. I am loved. I am valued. And then when we start to change the story, which takes a long time when we've conditioned ourselves to be negative, when we start to change the story, it changes our reality. And then you become one of those really annoying people that's always positive. Anyway, love you all. Thanks for listening. Just so you know, my phone is on the other side of the car. I have not touched it since we started driving, and I won't be touching it until I finish driving. And I'm not broadcasting because this is obviously edited. So yes, I'll speak to you soon. I'm Peter from the Salvation Army. Power of positive thinking. Is that Patsy? Nope. Rightio. All stopped. Engine off. I think I can turn it off now.